We're going to talk a little bit in detail about why we love NLP so much. So, you want me to go first?
Yeah, why do you love NLP so much?
Okay, so I'm going to start with, I love NLP because it works.
Love that.
Yeah, that might sound stupid, but I love NLP because it is results oriented. It's focused on how you actually get results with people. It's focused, it shifted my perspective to be what I tend to think of as a more scientific way of looking at life and transformation.
Yeah. Speaking of scientific, like the thing I love about NLP is something called an evidence procedure. If we're talking about it works, well, how will you know when this worked? That is such a powerful question to ask your client or yourself. How will you know when you got the results? Well, let me think about it. It would be like this, and this. And how will you be able to recognize when this worked? It's so results-oriented. I love it.
There are so many magical nuggets that are, they're these little concepts and ideas that are, there's so many of them in NLP. I have seen people write entire books and build entire consulting and training organizations around one concept in NLP.
Yeah.
Like the evidence procedure. Most people don't think about your goals. How will you know when you get there?
How will you recognize the life you want when you have it?
So, reason number two?
Reason number two that I love NLP is that it is empowering. I am all about empowering people to make the decisions about themselves that are going to help them live the life that they want, to be the person they want to be. And NLP sort of puts the reins in someone's hand. It forces them to take responsibility for themselves, but when you're there, you are in the one place, you're the most empowered place you can be. And to me, NLP really empowers people. And I want to empower empowerers as well.
I see two ways that empowerment shows up. The first one is that it really is centered around the idea that you can actually fix things.
Right.
You can change.
Right.
It's not just like, oh, well, I'm sorry, here's some drugs.
Yeah.
And they just take that
I
forever.
am a X or
like,
a Y.
Yeah, exactly. Identity statements like you have a broken leg, you go to the doctor, they give, well, you're going to have to be in a cast
I am
for the
a broken
rest
leg.
of your life, right? That's how typical psychology tends to view these types of things. But there's another level beyond that, which is, I think, the true spirit of NLP is teaching people how to fish. One of the things that I started saying to my clients years ago, early on, is my number one job is to work myself out of a job. My number one job is to help you get to the point where you don't need me anymore. You've outgrown me.
Yeah, I could find something else to do. I mean, I love my job, but if there was no market for helping people be better people,
oh my God,
I could find something else.
Do you want to live in that world?
Yeah,
I will happily find another career.
Yeah.
I will go landscape if everyone in the world doesn't need coaching anymore.
And that's why we're here to not only empower people, but to empower the coaches who empower the people.
Okay, this next one I think you should talk about. So
okay,
go for it.
Reason number 3 why I love NLP. It's about process, not content.
My God.
I'm like, oh my God. Because I personally, I'm not the kind of guy who wants to like get into I don't like drama. I don't watch drama. I don't hear drama.
I don't need to know your shit.
I want to know it. And while I know that there is a place for traditional therapy where you're like, oh, tell me about it. Like sort of stirring up the mud. And then you're like, oh, you get to a place but there's no resolution because it's not terribly results oriented. So you've just stirred it up. And then it's like, and how do you break the pattern? How do you have to figure out how someone is doing their problem. That's another huge thing in NLP. It's like, how do you do your problem?
God. When you talk about process versus content, that concept of just how do you do that?
How do you do that?
Like,
right?
I am depressed. How? Like, at a very basic level, if someone says I'm depressed, you have 100 different people who say I'm depressed. You have 100 different ways that is showing up. It's a subjective experience. It has to be a process if you're going to work on it. You can't just cookie cutter people.
Yeah, and when you know what the structure of the process is, you can interrupt that pattern.
Exactly.
If you're just caught in, well, what did he say to you? And tell me what was he wearing and all that stuff. You know, it's not how you're going to break the pattern. It's not how you're going to change your life.
In a sense, I feel like this is connected back to the evidence procedure too, because if you know where you're going, you can deal with the process.
Exactly. All right, Nicholas, what do you got? What's your next reason why you love NLP?
Okay, I think we're getting close to the end of the reasons. We're gushing here about how much we love NLP. One of the reasons that I love it is because I see it as an art and a science. Yes, it's based on a lot of scientific principles, and we're going to talk more about that. And there is an opportunity for creativity to show up that my background is in creativity. My family was a family of musicians, and I was a music and drama major in college.
My family was all dancers.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool, look at us.
So ending up in this, I was going to be an actor. That's what I was going to do for a living. But then at some point, my path diverged, and I thought that I was going to leave all that stuff behind. And what I've found is that the more that I have stepped into my skill and calling in the world of NLP, the more opportunity for my creativity to shine that it's come out.
Yeah, and I feel the same way, that I'm able to, I've said this to you before, I'm actually able to be myself for money, right? Because I get to use my creativity. I look at people and their problems as puzzles. And to me, that's fascinating. And with these techniques, I can go, ooh, if I can see the structure.
Yes.
And the trick is not just going, oh, here's the structure of your problem. Do something about it. The real trick and the creativity I think you're talking about is getting someone else to come to those conclusions by just showing them what the structure is and then guiding them to make that connection themselves.
Absolutely.
And that I just love that. It plays to my strength. NLP plays to my strengths. And I feel like you said, I found home.
Yeah. It helps to foster a more critical mind, or I should say, when you do it well, it helps to foster a more critical mind, which is something I feel like I've always had or developed and tried to strive to.
I've tried to strive to not have such a critical mind, as I'm sure many of my older friends will attest, because I can find what's wrong with anything. And that's a great way. It's a good skill to have, but it's not a good way to live your life. So finding the balance between using my critical mind and being creative about helping people to see what they can improve is the key for me.
The last point that I'll make, and I think this was your point originally, but I'll own it, is that I think I really like how kind of outsider and counterculture NLP is. Yeah. I like that feeling of knowing something and being informed in something that is so few people know about. Yeah. That you and that works. That's so fucking awesome, and so few people know about it. It's just it's cool. Yeah. Like being able to hypnotize people, being able to sit somebody down and go, "Oh, you have a headache? Give me 60 seconds." You know? And people are like, "What the hell just happened?" Right. Yeah. Hey, Nicholas here. Thanks for watching this mini episode about why we love NLP so much. If you like this, go check out the full episode this came from. Also, you can click like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment and share this video if you like. And I hope to see you again soon.
Podject.